Good afternoon, WSSEA. We are back with some more Splatoon 3 action. We got Sedro-Woolley, we got Lake Stevens, absolutely heavyweight matchup here in week 6 of our spring season. Once again, I'm Spicy, joined on the mic here with Neptune. How are we doing today?
Doing fantastic here. It is a Clash of the Titans coming out today. I believe it's Lake Stevens, yes, with 3-1 on the board, with Sedro-Woolley having a clean record so far this year. We're on week 6, by the way, right? So we have
Yes.
quite a bit. That's clearly really impressive to have that in week 6 here. But before we get into the Clash of the Titans here, we do need to give a shout out to one of our sponsors here today. Got to give a shout out to Zotac Gaming here for powering today's stream. Thanks for the incredible support. We're able to bring this broadcast to all of you all, helping showcase the amazing talent in Scholastic Esports. You can show your appreciation for Zotac Game by giving them a shout out on social media. Make sure you join their community on Discord, and don't forget to use the hashtag powered by Zotac or hashtag ZotacUSA when you post. Yes, can't love me some Zotac equipment here.
Yeah, absolutely legendary sponsor that we have here to support Landfest as well as WSSEA to bring you this stuff. But enough of that. We're going in with this amazing matchup here. We talked about it already, but this is being in week 6. This is a very important matchup for both these teams, really setting the stage for a potential playoff matchup in the future. Both these teams with a lot of prestige already in terms of WSSEA Splatoon 3, actually in terms of WSSEA as a whole. So really exciting stuff here, and what a way we're going to kick us off with this best of 5 Turf War Mincemeats.
Turf War mincemeat indeed. So I think this map mode has a bit of a legacy here with Sia, because I remember we had like a few percentages apart. I think it was 1% apart in like a playoffs match. I forget the schools that were involved here, but there is a lot of close calls here and a lot of opportunities on a map that's generally considered to be unconventional for most of the community standards here. But generally speaking, in what's very difficult about this map is there's a lot of one-way commitments and drops that players need to go to if they do want to go through the middle of the map or try to find ways to get a little bit more turf coverage here, because I'm thinking about like that middle platform a little bit before you enter mid and how important it is to hold. And that's kind of very important to hold, because that's where you can cycle jumps, you can have your backline set up, right? And there's a lot of nuance to this map, unironically, for how simple of a layout it is.
It really is, yeah. And like it's interesting as well because like we haven't seen Mincemeat. Well, first ourselves, we haven't really seen this since like finals of last season in Turf War. But really, just overall in Splatoon, Mincemeat has really fallen out of terms of like playability for a lot of the modes. You don't see it in any of the 4 ranked modes. And you saw it have some niches. Shout out to Clam Blitz Mincemeat and Collegiate especially. But like typically now is like it's so interesting to see like this was the Lake Stevens pick, so they probably have an idea of like how they want to be playing this here. They have some experience being one of the more established programs within WSSEA Splatoon, so maybe they have something up their sleeve here, especially because like and it's so fun because like when you look at the Turf War like map pool that we have, any team that like picks one here, you know they probably have something just like absolutely ready for it.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of potential picks that can succeed a lot. And something that I see it with Sia consistently are like the end pairing dualies. The end pairing dualies are very,
Oh,
very
true.
popular for sure. I love how the kit has curling bombs, so you're able to quite literally like just throw it, run behind it, right? And then potentially, if you have the splashdown ready, create this massive like area of denial, right? Or
Hmm.
how do I say it? You splash down, right? Anyone in that radius gets destroyed and splatted and get back to spawn right there as well. And then because it's also painting your feet around, so that gives you another ability to just keep running and keep the momentum that Dualies is known for as well. And I think that's kind of what makes it so interesting from a spectator's point of view here. And plenty of players would see a pilot that and know when to use it as well. So I think that is definitely something I'm going to be looking out here as well, if that is on the table.
Yeah, and I believe both these teams have at least one player who can, if they don't normally play it, can at least flex to one of those weapons here. And like M parries, yeah, definitely a fan favorite weapon, not just in Lucia, but in overall Splatoon, whether it be from the spectator side, whether it be from the player side, a lot of different options here. And I'm interested to see, especially with that splashdown, we've seen it get so much value as a special, just overall with this season. So
Mhm.
I'm excited to see what we end up having here, and also seeing what we can have in terms of other options to complement the Emperies here. We've seen a lot of different weapons make their way here into
Mm.
WSSEA Splatoon. So, and the variety is always something we really are happy to see as well. So, a lot of options, big set coming forward here. Looks like we're gonna be getting started. Give a chance to see what these opening comps are going to show us here.
Yeah, for sure. These players are loaded up here. Let's see these weapon comps come out here. Oh, okay. We have an E leader getting selected here from Lake Stevens' side, I believe. And Sedro-Woolley is breaking out that end parries. Yes, it is time to duel and dualies at the same time here, Spicy.
Yeah, it's a clash of two weapons that we see a lot here in WSSEA. Arrow Spray from Lake Stevens, I believe, in terms of the turf war thing. A lot of paint from that. And Entaries as well. We had a huge thing about it. But also see the Quab as well as the Reflex come through. Really interesting stuff that you are going to be seeing here. Immediately seeing a big situation. And now the danger sign coming up here for Sedro-Woolley as Lake Stevens starting to look good here.
Yeah, for sure. The E-Leader is set up here properly here. A little bit further back, but hey, you know, a little bit of safety precautions here, but this is going to be a menace here, especially if it's able to hit some shots right here. We see the splash shot coming out and the arrow spray down here. The E-Leader is forced to jump out to avoid all that danger here, and now this is going to be Sedro-Woolley's time to play the game here. All their weapons are very mobile and able to take around quickly. As you see, we already have that rain going at the end. Harry's trying to make a play as well, but it's going to be a trade. I'm not sure if these trades are going to be what you want here, but hey, we're just starting out here. First minute is down.
Yeah, first minute already here in the books. Gotta watch for what this Booyah Bump's gonna be able to do. Already on this, about 700 points of paint as well. Yeah, this is what the Air Spray loves to do. Has a sprinkler in tow, and is now able to pop that Booyah Bomb with the M parries down here as well. Danger once again, 2 down now from the side of Sedro-Woolley. So great stuff here from Lake Stevens, who are off to a great start here as we are approaching now the halfway point of this game.
Oh, wow. And a crucial pick for that Aerospray right there, taking out that Reflux here. And nothing behind you see Reflux and Aerosprays being the backbone of Turf War because their turfing abilities are so great while they're not particularly the best at fighting here as well. And that Booyah Bomb forcing them into the line of sight of the leader there. That is beautiful team coordination right here. And now Sedro-Woolley is going to be in danger here. There's not much they're able to do here, but hey, 1 minute left here. It is now or never, Spicy. Anything can happen.
Now or never, indeed. Big moments now from this side of Sedro-Woolley to see if they're going to be able to make their way back here. Lake Stevens has them in a bit of a lockout as well. Great stuff here from the Entry. Just being able to provide all of that here with that bucket, and a lot of more of that close range combat starting to come and show its way here as well. Gonna get split out in not a trade, but it does look very well here. The option maybe be happening. They're getting their way out of the danger as well. So time will tell us if they can have one last push here in about the last 25 seconds.
Oh, yes, one last push right there by that Tri-Saucer catching at the end parries. You know, having that threat player potentially behind you as a threat is definitely something that needed to be dealt with, and it got dealt with immediately here. And this Tri-Saucer is doing such a good job just covering these ledges, putting out a lot of paint, doing almost area denial, getting 3 splats there in the last 30 seconds here. That might be the dagger here as well. Booyah Bomb for everyone here before the other Booyah gets out. Wow, okay. What a convincing game here from Lake Stevens on Turf War.
Yeah, they've looked really good so far, and one of just the big things here is the overall control from this entire team. Whether it be up close with the paint, whether it be the bucket also providing that more power in terms of being able to have that combat potential,
Mhm.
even having the E-leader in the back, like to actually have that kind of range as well, really apply that kind of pressure. Great stuff here from this side of Lake Stevens there in that game 1.
Yeah, for sure. And I gotta give my what was it? What was it? We always talk about variety here at WSSEA here and
Mhm.
how definitely a lot of players pilot a lot of different weapons, and we obviously have our more common weapons. We have our Aerosprays, we have our end parries, but I gotta give a shout out to that leader pick right there. Now, leader is such a
Yes.
gamble, it feels like, because on one hand, you have a weapon that can instantly delete you halfway across the map, has the longest range of any non-special weapon in the entire game, and it doesn't paint well. That's its biggest weakness. And we're playing a mode that is centered around painting. So there is a lot of trust, a lot of how do I say it, playing off setting up the E-leader. Because every single time someone tried to slip by, their teammates turned around or was able to use their specials to be able to get those crucial picks to keep their E-leader set up. And then when the leader was in trouble, say that in that first minute right there, they were forced to jump out and realize, no, it's not worth losing my life right now. I'm going to just reset here. I'm going to push in with my team, get back to my perch, and then slowly help them out and slowly cycle that game, squeeze out that victory is how I like to say it.
That's a great way to put it, especially just the values that E-Leader really does put out there. I'm curious to see how that ends up translating to this next map mode. We're going to Rainmaker Manta Maria here for game
Oh,
2. That being the Sedro-Woolley counter pick. And like we see Rainmaker Manta a lot this season. And now we're going to one of the rank modes. We see a lot of players will on swapping weapons off from Turf War into like Rainmaker especially. So curious now with both these teams what adjustments are being made, whether it be play style wise, whether it be comp. Time will tell. Loading into game 2 right now.
yeah, for sure. Rainmaker Manta, another, I'd say, historic map mode here in WSSEA here. A classic if you want to. Well, but, oh, okay. We have the Sultana Stamper coming out to play, as well as matched by the Sultana Wiper on the enemy team here. So we have a bit of a duel of the swords here. Crossing swords, crossing blades, however you want to say it here. But we have a lot of topping power on the side of Sedro-Woolley here. So having counter picks and beacons here on Manta Maria is going to be really crucial, but not if they already get that pick there, Spicy.
You see the movement though, that Duel able to get its way around, but they were stuck in the lag of that dodge roll, ended up getting splattered out in the process. So while like Steven does get that first initial push, it really isn't gonna be for like any big movements here. Gotta see what else they're gonna be able to do at this moment. The hammer starting to come through, gets shut down when the E-Leader gets those picks, finding that double as they get the wipe here. Huge moments here from the side of Blake Stevens. We talked about it before this game, but when that E-Leader gets going, when it is that trusted pick, it shows its value in spades.
It's showing its value in speed, and the Wavebreaker is also paying off here, picking up another member here and getting quite a bit of popping power to give teammates their jumps in. Yeah, there's jumps coming in here as well, so not only is the leader getting so many picks, it's getting so much momentum from being able to get his teammates back here. They're going to be able to pick up the Rainmaker here on Sedro-Woolley and get right on picks, but the Rainmaker is still in this one. This leader is still here, and no one is moving it here, Spicy.
Yeah, they see a Wiper as well. They're doing such a great job, Ganji, I believe that is, on this E-Leader, just providing the space for their teammates to jump in, being the definition of an anchor for this Lake Stevens side, who's already up in this game.
No.
And they find a second wipeout. They have a lot of space here to have a breakaway. The Splash is going to be moving on towards the pedestal, and they are going to get the dunk. Lake Stevens here, 3-1 on the season, is taking Sedro-Woolley, pushing them to the limit here as Lake Stevens is up 2-0.
Oh my goodness here. My jaw dropped from watching that E-Leader get pick after pick, sustainment and push after sustained push. You can only hold on to your side of the map for so long and take positions until you have to play in the line of sight where is necessary. You have to play those open areas to be able to touch the Rainmaker and potentially push it out of spawn, or you have to be able to push up and face the leader to be able to move it. But every single time the leader just hit their shot and just shut the door immediately, leaving very little possibility or counterplay there for Sedro-Woolley, because if you look at their weapons, they're like, oh, they're very mobile weapons, but sometimes
Yes.
Manta Maria, right, does not allow those those mobile weapons to be able to play in those little corridors and areas they want to play in. Like that entire middle area of the map, that is practically wide open space, asking for you to be marked for death by that E-Leader.
Yeah, and mind you, this E-Leader is also playing the scoped variant, so what they get basically as much range as they possibly can here at the sacrifice of the awareness is very limited. You're literally zoning in on your enemy there, so you do run the risk of you getting like flanked by one of the very mobile weapons that Sedro-Woolley was playing, but it didn't even matter. They were had such great aim, and it's so hard to have like good aim in Splatoon as well. Like even though with the implementation of motion controls, you're still and having like that essentially like a mouse feel to it. the way with the movement, the different ways to hide in this game. There's so many ways you can miss a shot. So it's really prevalent to see that kind of e-leader play here in WSSEA. I love to have that happen. And now from Sedro-Woolley, they're 4-0 in the season. And now suddenly they're facing an 0-2 deficit here. And they lost on their counter pick as well on Rainmaker
Mm.
Manta. So now going into splat zones, I'm so curious to see what their map selection is going to be here.
Well, the first thing if I were in Sedro-Woolley's shoes right now is what can we do about the leader here? And if you look at some of the maps that are
Hmm.
potentially on here, a lot of these maps are pretty favored for how do I say it? An E leader to potentially set up. Like I look at Ramen, like, oh, it just beams you across the map. You look at Barnacle, it beams you
Hmm.
across the map. Haggle, Amahi, just every single one of these options are very much favored for the E-leader. And even though the E-leader doesn't do a good job painting, its overall area denial in zones and how important it is to fight in front of the zone and keep maintain that area, that can get very dangerous very fast if it's not how do I say it? A properly dealt with here. But if I had to take a shot in the dark here, I think the best bet they can do is potentially is Mako Mark, because Mako Mark gives you options, it gives you cover, it allows teams to be able to breathe. And even though that's not an ideal E-leader map, E-leader can still function there, Spicy.
Yeah, we did just get word that we are going to Hagglefish for
Oh.
the zones pick here from Sedro-Woolley. Real curious about this too, because like I feel like there's spots here on Hagglefish that are beneficial for this E-leader, and like I presume Lake Stevens is going to be bringing back that E-leader. One, it's playing hot, and two, just from looking at the splash tag, I saw the E-leader sticker on there, so it makes sense for them to be playing that weapon here. So I'm now wondering from the side of Sedro-Woolley, what's the options here? Is it going to be more weapon swaps on their end? You saw different options start to come out there, whether it be going to the Wiper, switching off to a different bow, this time being on the Wellstring. They have ideas, they have
Hmm.
options. I'm curious to see what we got here. Maybe a potential player swap. I am noticing that there are players coming in and out, so I'm not sure if that was a Sedro-Woolley swap. It would be really crazy here to see like maybe that's the option they have. Like they have like an actual just like a defined like e-leader counter player at this point instead of just a counter pick weapon.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's also that, like, oh, you might have someone in the back that has a potential way to displace leader. Like, you think of Long Rapid or like other blasters, right? They're able to hit around the areas that necessarily don't need a line of sight to be able to deal damage and move players as well. But I think it's also the fact that, like, your back is against the wall here. Like, you are potentially
Mhm.
losing your first game of the season here. And how do I say it? This is how you need to respond, right? You need to throw something from the kitchen sink and see if it sticks. Because you played your first match on Turf War, which is arguably Ely's the mode that it struggles with most, right? And then you played Rainmaker, got absolutely shut down. So you learned a lot, but can you take what you learned and apply it to be able to have the proper counterplay? And that's what I'm really looking out for in this next game.
Yeah, it's really just seeing how does that
Mhm.
counterplay work here, because like we see it all the time in Splatoon where you have like defined ideas and like you have like all these like set plays, these game plans, and then you get into the game and the execution falls flat. And that is one of the biggest scares here in Splatoon, but hey, they're undefeated for a reason. Let's see if they're going to be go through the set by putting up a big fight here, blocking a lot of same stuff from here from Lake Stevens, going to Vanilla Tri-Slosher instead. And now you see the Nautilus come here as well as the Blue Dapple now from the side of Sedro-Woolley.
Yeah, for sure. Both those weapons have very, how do I say, good ways to cap the zone. Like, I think of the Roof Slider near the zone. I think of the Splashdown near the zone to be able to capture it. However, I'm a little bit concerned here on how you're going to be able to move this leader here. Because instead of having 4 potential targets to shoot, there's only 3 potential targets. But hey, that doesn't matter as long as you kill the front lines in there. And now you're forcing the Booyah back out as a response here. And the Dapples is distracting its leader. Unfortunately, not enough time here. Not enough ability to be able to live this encounter here as the zone keeps ticking down here in the favor of Lord Stevens.
One of the wipeout there effectively delayed, and it was so big here for Lake Stevens to get off to a lead. And not only are they going to get off to a lead, but they're already past the 50 at this point. Reef Slider coming in. It is going to find the E-leader, but that Booyah Bomb going to come through, effectively neutralize the zone back. And now it is just the Tri-Slosher here from Lake Stevens at this point, but Sedro-Woolley's got to get control of the zone. Crown is doing a great job of finding the pace, and they get the zone in the trade. Meanwhile, Sedro-Woolley's fighting, and it's a matter of thing. They got to get pace in that zone.
Yeah, for sure. You need the zone cap here if you want to see another day here. But no, you just get shut down immediately. The door might be fully closed.
Oh.
We have one more Reef Slider coming on zone. I don't think that's going to be enough here to be able to cap this zone. And we have 100-0 here. Lake Stevens coming out swinging. They are ready and willing to take you to these map modes and shut the door on you for a clean 3-0 sweep.
Yeah, that was so clean, efficient even here from the side of Lake Stevens. Like, you looked at this matchup like on paper, I thought this was gonna go to distance here. I really did, but then Rainmaker and zones especially, like Lake Stevens is playing on another level. I know they just came back from like spring break this past week, so whatever happened on that break, whatever training arc they did, it worked out here because Lake Stevens, they played like an undefeated team here. They are playing like a true contender at this point and putting their money where their mouth is there, beating Sedro-Woolley 3-0. And every single player from that Lake Stevens team looked to be playing on point, and they are looking scary in these last 2 weeks coming up.
Yeah, for sure. And I gotta imagine, like, you gotta also look at it from the opponent's point of view, because not only do you have to realize, wow, this is a really strong team, but this is like a little bit of a preview for playoffs as well. Because if both these teams make playoffs, they're going to eventually meet sometime, somewhere, if they're gunning to take the crown for the league season here. And now you gained a little bit of that information here. It's like, hey, they played really, really well. What were they doing? How can we potentially shut that down? Or what can we do? How can we train or better anticipate this matchup here? Is it our counter picks? Is it our weapon pool? Is it how we're coordinating our fights? There's a lot of variables in place here, and this gives a lot of Sedro-Woolley a time to, how do I say it, scout, right? And realize what they need to do if they want to be able to come out on top for this season. But it's just a little bit too strong, a little bit too much momentum here. Maybe you got a little bit of a bad day. I'm not sure what it was, but Lake Stevens, wow. That's all I can say here, Spicy.
Yeah, wow is the best way to put it, and wow is another word we would use to describe our other sponsor of this broadcast, being LandFest, because this broadcast is part of LandFest Scholastic Esports program, a program that supports this league and many others. Since launching, LandFest has delivered over 300 broadcasts to Scholastic leagues in Washington and Indiana. We provide these broadcasts free of charge to the leagues, schools, and teams we cover, and your generous donations make this all possible. As a reminder, every $200 raised covers the operating cost for one regular season broadcast, so if you appreciate our work, scan the QR code on screen and donate today.
Yes, thank you to LandVest, as well as our other sponsors, Zotac, for making this stream possible. We would have not been able to see Lake Stevens play it out here if it weren't for them here at the end of the day, as well as our lovely producers, as well as everyone else putting effort into this production at the end of the day. But Spicy, we can only stay on the mic for so long. Yap, I always enjoy doing this with you, but where can the fine people find you?
You can find me on various parts of Nintendo esports as a whole at 2SpicyPM, at 2SpicyMK. I'm around with Splatoon, Smash, Mario Kart, you name it, I'm there. So, always a pleasure doing this with you, Neptune, as well. Where can the great people of this community locate you?
Well, locate me. Well, if you're looking for me on socials, follow me on Blue Sky at Neptune-TV right there. I've been a little bit active lately there because recently I made some posts regarding the fact that I traveled to some LAN events for Splatoon, and there is a qualifier event where every winner of these LANs are going to be showing up to brawl it out here as well. So keep an eye out for that if you're looking for me specifically. Otherwise, I work with the collegiate Splatoon scene with the CCA. I also help organize and produce matches for those as well. So if you want to see me over there and see some collegiate Splatoon action, check out CCA.
I'm gonna say better myself. We are back tomorrow with Overwatch, and on Thursday we have Smash Brothers. But if you're looking for Splatoon, we'll be back here on Tuesday. That wraps up the WSSEA Splatoon coverage for this week, and we will see you guys next time.
See ya.